morning. Today we're going to learn the Chumash and Rashi of the day. It's Wednesday, Revi, Parshas Vayetze. Vayelech Reuven b'mekes shechitim ha'im tzedudayim b'asada. Vayavei Esam aleya imay v'atem and Rachel aleya tnina li midudai b'neich. Reuven went during the time of the cutting of the wheat. We'll call it the wheat harvest, and he found flowers in the field. Rashi will tell us that it's jasmine flowers. And he brought them to Leah, his mother. And Rachel said to Leah, give me from these flowers of your son. Says Rashi, we make tzirchitim. Why does Torah, which never tells us anything extra, why does Torah find it necessary to say that it was the season of the wheat harvest? To teach you, to teach you the praise of the Shvatim. Shas HaKatzir Haya, it was the time of the harvest. He didn't take his hand, take from anything which did not belong to him, wheat, barley, and so on. He went to an area which was hefker. It was available. Anyone that wants could take it. When you have the harvest and you're taking a lot of stuff, very often a field owner or landowner will just have leftovers on the side that he doesn't care for. In this case, it was some flowers. It wasn't his thing. He was taking wheat. So Torah is telling you who this what season it was at to teach you that they were very careful about not stealing. And this is a recurring theme that we find also by the shepherds, Avram's shepherds versus light shepherds and so on, where they had muzzles on the mouths of their animals. Because as they travel, as they're moving around from one area to the next, they could just bend down and take the grass and graze in other places that's not theirs. Or you could say, this is not my problem, they'll never know, we're moving on. But Avram was careful, and they literally had muzzles on the animals until they came to an area which was allowed to be pastured in, whether it was their own or it was hefker, it belonged to nobody. The same thing is with Reuven. He wanted to bring flowers to his mother. He didn't just pass through some kind of park and take flowers. It was available. It was no one's. He could bring it to his mother. So we say it's jasmine type of plant. Okay, so he brings home these flowers to his mother Leah, and Rachel sees them, and she says, "Give me your son's flowers, or from your son's flowers." Now the response that Leah gives to Rachel was, let's just say, a little bit direct. She said like this. She said to her, is it not enough? Is it too little that you took my man, my husband? You're going to take also the flowers of my son? Therefore, you'll be with him tonight in exchange for the flowers. Okay, so basically, Yaakov had his tent, his bed, and his tent was in different tents, different days, and this was Leah's, this was Rachel's night. And they switched from Rachel to they made an exchange for the flowers that Rachel could go instead. Okay, yeah.
Leah can go instead.
Yeah, Leah could go instead. I'm sorry. It was Rachel's turn, and Leah switched by exchanging flowers for it. With a question. Now, just for those that are watching online, first of all, welcome. Briefly, what's this reference of you took my wife, you took my husband? So we know in the earlier part of the Parsha that Yaakov intended to marry Rachel, and he actually worked for his father-in-law for 7 years to earn the right to marry Rachel. And the night of the wedding, Lavan tricked him, and it was dark. He didn't see, and by a chuppah the face is covered, and so on. He sent in Leah, and only in the morning did Yaakov realize that he married not the girl that he was engaged to, rather her sister. So, and later he married Rachel. Okay, so Rachel is asking Leah for flowers. Leah says, "Hey, 1 second. Not enough. You took my husband. You're going to take my flowers too." Okay, but she gave her the flowers, and instead of Rachel being with her, with Yaakov that night, Leah was. Okay. You also want to take the flowers of my son. I was going to be with him tonight. And I'm giving it to you instead in exchange of the flowers of your son. Rashi tells us, she was not valuing being with the tzaddik. She just exchanged the opportunity to be with Yaakov for flowers. She did not merit to be buried with her. Later on, when Rachel passes away, they're traveling when it happens, and it's not technically practical to bring her to Hebron, where the Yaakov would later be buried. Adam and Chava are there, Abraham and Sarah are there, Yitzchak and Rivka are there, and Yaakov is there. But Yaakov is there with Leah, because when Rachel passed away, she ended up being buried on the side of the road. Until today, it's Beis Lechem, Kever Rachel. And the reason Rashi gives is because she was treating it loosely. Whatever, okay, flowers. Obviously, there's much more to this story. There's more reasons behind it. But this is an element that impacts the schus, the merit that she should be able to be, and therefore she wasn't able to be buried with him. A question online. According to folklore, do Da'im... Okay, it's true. You're right. It's not folklore. It's actually accurate that the flowers have certain elements to them. We'll call it herbs. Correct. Thank you, Michael. Tezayin. And the pasuk continues. Yaakov came from the field that evening. And Leah went out towards him, which would have been Rachel. And she told to Yaakov, you're going to come to me. I'm going to be with you. I earned you with the flowers that my son gathered from Hefker. And he was with her. Says Rashi, I gave Rachel payment. I earned this. And the Eibishter helped. As a result, Yisachar was born. The Hashem heard Leah, and she became pregnant, and she bore to Yaakov a fifth son. Now, this concept that's repeated, that Hashem hears Leah's pain, Hashem listens to her pain. She's the hated wife. Okay, she was married by mistake, and not literally by mistake, but deception. Thank you. I'm not going to argue because it's true, but practically speaking, what basically took place was Lavan fooled Yaakov and sent in Leah instead of Rachel. But she wasn't really wanted initially. So Hashem hears her pain, and now she has 5 sons already that she bore to Yaakov, the 5th son, which is Yisachar. Now, just to understand, Rashi told us earlier that the Imais, the 4 mothers, the matriarchs, they had Ruach HaKodesh. They were prophetesses. Okay, they were women prophets, and they knew that Yaakov was going to have 12 sons. It'd be 12 Shvatim. So they understand that if she has 5, she has already majority. Okay, because 12 divided by 4 is going to be 3 each. Once you have 5, you're okay. But Rashi tells us, what does it mean? Hashem heard Leah. He heard that she was really wanting and very much desired to have more Shvatim. She wanted to bring more tribes of the Jewish people into the world. She was davening, she wanted it, and Hashem heard her, and He allowed it to happen through her. So now that she has a new baby, and Leah says, Hashem gave me my reward, because what's the reward? That I gave my maid to my husband, which was Zilpah, and she called him Yisachar. Yisachar from the word of schar, which is reward. Leah was pregnant, became pregnant again, and she bore a 6th son to Yaakov. Now she has to name the 6th son. Tamer Leah is Vadani Elihim Eish Zevet Teva Pam is Leni Ishi Gilad Elei Shisha Banan Tikka Shmei Zvulun. So Leah says, Hashem has given me a good portion, Zeved. This time my husband will live with me more than with the other wives, for I have borne him 6 sons, as many as all the other wives combined. Because again, they knew they're going to have 12. She has 6. So she has just as much as the other 3 together. So she named him Zvulun. Okay, Zeved means a good portion. Zvulun was the name she gave to her 6th son. Zeved types is Rashi Gomez Wilin Lashon Beis Zvul Hu Vraya Balaz Beis Mother, a place of living. Me'ata Lo Teikadasi El Imi Sheeshli Banu Minei Chol Lashon. Sorry, Yizbleni is the place of living. His place he's going to be is with me, because I have equal sons, like equal of all the other ones together. Afterwards, she had a daughter, and she called him Dina. Dina Pirsha Rabbi Seinu. Shedana Leo Din Ba'atza. What's this name Dina? Dina is from the term din, which means judgment. Leah made a decision. She realized, Imza Zachar, if this child, which I'm pregnant with, is going to be a boy, my sister Rachel is not going to be like one of the maids. Okay, there are 2 wives and 2, we'll call them maids, shvaches. Okay, now Leah had 6 sons already, so each one of the other ones could have 2 each, because there's going to be 12 total. You never know exactly how it works out, but 2 each. Now, once she's having a 7th child, and Bilhah and Zilpah already had 2, so now she's taking 1 away from Rachel. All she could have is 1 now. 1 will be from her. So she davened, please God, make this child a girl. That it should be a girl, not a boy. So although a Rashi ago, we learned that Leah was begging Hashem, she wants to have more Shvatim. Vayishma, Hashem heard her call, and she had 6 sons. But when she realized that Rachel, her sister, is going to be ashamed, and she's going to have less than the Shvaches had, she davened that it should be a girl. She davened, and it was changed to a girl. In other words, initially, before the baby was born, it was intended to be a boy. Because of her tefillos, the gender was topic on its own, but it was changed to a boy, to a girl. Hashem remembered Rachel. He heard her, and he opened her womb, and as we'll see, she had a baby. What do you mean he remembered her? He doesn't forget things. Remembered her, he means that he remembered that she gave over the signs to her sister. Now, Yaakov was no fool. And when he was working for Rachel, for Lavan for 7 years in order to earn Rachel to marry her, he knew that it's very possible that his father-in-law is going to trick him. When he even asked for her in the first place, he said, I want your daughter. And he was very specific. I want Rachel, and I want the younger one. Because he knew that I have 2 daughters. What do you mean? Maybe he'll change her name from Leah to Rachel, Rachel to Leah. He was very, very specific. He knew who he was dealing with. And therefore, before they got married, he told Rachel, here are the signs. We're going to have some kind of code that just in case, it's going to be dark, I'm not going to know who it is, and your father might trick me. So he gave her some kind of code to identify herself as Rachel. She went, and she didn't want Leah to be ashamed because she saw that Lavan is sending in her sister instead of her. And it's about to be a serious fiasco because Yaakov is going to stop and say, who's this girl? It's not my wife. It's not who I'm marrying. So she gave over the codes to her sister, willingly, knowingly. So Hashem remembers the fact that Rachel did this for her sister, and which is a tremendous sacrifice. And therefore, she has this child. That's number one that he remembers. Secondly, she was the second thing was that she was always afraid, Rachel, and she was in pain, that she may have to marry Esav. Why should she marry Esav? Yaakov had a twin brother, Esav. Rivka had a sister, right? Her brother, Lavan. Lavan had two daughters, and Yaakov had two, and Yitzchak, Rivka had two sons. And everyone said, the older one will marry the older one, the younger one will marry the younger one. It's pretty clear. The cousins are going to get married. Yaakov is the younger one who'll marry Rachel, and Esav is the older one who'll marry Leah. And that's why Leah's eyes were swollen, because she always cried. She didn't want to marry this Rasha, and it was. They get married. Okay, Yaakov marries Leah and Rachel. Rachel is afraid, and she's worried. She has no children. Her husband may divorce her, and she'll have to marry Esav. It was switched instead of Leah. Now it's going to be Rachel. And even Esav thought that, because Esav heard that Rachel has no children. Great, he'll take her from his brother and marry her. So Hashem remembered that she gave the coats to her sister, and that she's in pain about the fact that she's going to have to marry. She should not end up marrying Esav, because Yaakov might divorce her because she has no children, and therefore he remembered her. Hashem remembered her and gave her this. Allowed her to have children. She became pregnant and had a child, and she said, Hashem concealed Asaf my shame, my disgrace. Now here's a very interesting Rashi. Asaf הכניסה במקום של תירא וכנס לחפשנו ויעשו הביתה איסו לנהגם בירך ליעשו ליתמנו כי חפשתי שהאיסה חרפה שנייה קרה. I was a disgrace. I was barren. Everyone looked at me, oh, we're your children. I don't have. They would say, you are going to be in the lot of Esav. The Medrash tells us, this is what I wanted to say. Whenever a woman doesn't have a child, she doesn't have who to blame her mess ups on. The Gemara brings this in Ksubis, that when a woman has a child, she could use it also as a cover-up. Who broke that dish? Oh, one of the kids broke it. Right? Who ate up the figs? One of the kids did it. There's a certain, it's a cover-up a little bit. It can be, right? Why are you late? Oh, the babies. Why can't you go? Because of the kids. So this term of now, I can cover up my shame. Obviously, it's not a reason to have children. That's not the point here. But it was an excitement, an expression of her gratitude that she has a child. And she named him Yosef because Hashem, Asaf, took away the shame, the disgrace. She called him Yosef to say, Hashem should add to me another son. The name Yosef, yes, is Asaf, but the name Yosef is, he'll increase, he'll add. She knew by prophecy, as mentioned, that Yaakov is only going to have 12 Shvatim. She said, it's a question. Leah had 6 sons. Why is Rachel, who finally has a child after so many years, she says, Yosef, Hashem should add to me another son. Ask for many sons. She knew there's only 12 sons. That's what Yaakov was going to have. She was a prophet. And there are already 11. So she's naming this 11th child with a prayer that Hashem should increase another son for her. Now here's a start of a new era. When Yaakov, when Yosef was born, the 11th son, Yaakov told Lavan, okay, it's time for me to go. Send me, I'm going to go back to my place and my land. I'm going home. It's been a long time, it's time to go. Kasha Yolda Rachel es Yosef, Shnei Letzitna Shel Esau, Shnei Beis Yes Yaakov, Eish Beis Yosef Lahava, Beis Yosef Lakash, Eish Belahava Inin Shel Lemrachik, Shel Yosef Betach Yaakov Hezrach Ratzul Ashu. There's verses that imply that the counter to Esav is Yosef. Yaakov had run away from Esav, and now that he has Yosef, he's confident he can go back to Eretz Yisrael. It'll be okay. He wants to return. So he tells his father-in-law, "Tunas nashai v'asiladai sharavadati escha bahin ve'ilecha ki ata yadayta savidasi sharavadaticha." Give me my wives, my children that I served you, and I'm going to go because you know my work that I worked for you. Basically, I'm taking my family, and we're going. Tunas nashai v'gemer ini nechilachas latis ikim b'rishus. I don't want to leave without permission. I'm coming to you like a mensch. It's your daughters. It's my wives. It's been nice. As a family, we're leaving. Give me permission. So Lavan responds to Yaakov, if I found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have found out by divining, okay, through his types of stargazing or whatever else, he understood that all of his blessings that he had were thanks to Yosef, to Yaakov. And if you leave me, who knows what's going to be? And therefore, as you'll see next pasuk, he tells him, "Fine, let's make a deal. Tell me what you want, and I'll pay. I'll pay you. Just don't leave." Nichashti v'nachesh hayisi, says Rashi. Isisi b'nichush li shal yodei yodcha ba'al li bracha. He says, I realized, and I found out that because of you, I have blessings. Before you came, I had no sons. He only had daughters. How do we know he had no sons? Because when Yaakov comes to the well, when he's entering Haran, he's greeted by shepherds, and Rachel is coming. She's the shepherd of her father's sheep. Why is the girl shepherding the sheep? Because he had no sons. Is it possible that he has sons and he's sending his daughter among other shepherds, which are shepherds? Now he has sons. There's an example that he's telling Yaakov, listen, I don't want you to leave. Your being here brought me blessings. Your being here was a source of a lot of good things for me, and I don't want you to leave. Thanks for joining. Join us again tomorrow, Friday. Share, subscribe, comment. Have a great day.
It was